And hey there team, I said I wouldn't do too many more replays of campaign battles, and I do intend to stick with that, but this was just one that I found quite interesting. So we're around about turn 70 at this point, and I've recently started to confederate the few remaining Empire factions. This was one of the armies that had been created by the AI to defend their land, and I was just making use of it by trying to strike at the Skaven. This was the first time that I've actually ever fought the Skaven, and so it was quite interesting to check that out and see what they had. But ambushes are something that still kind of perplexes me in this game. I think just certain races are able to ambush you just by attacking you. But hey, that's something I'll learn in time, and maybe I'll even play as a Skaven at some point. So this was not an army that I put together myself, but it's pretty well balanced, and it's being led by my spy master there. So this is a much smaller force than our own is on this hilltop here, and then they have some reinforcements that are going to be coming in from there. As this was a co-op campaign, I had my friend control all of the ranged units. So that's everything from my handgunners, my free company, and the crossbowmen there. At the back here I have 2 units of Empire Knights, and then I've got spearmen, some sword infantry, some more spears, some halberdiers there, a unit of halberdiers that has just been one unit of halberdiers that has just been hit by some sort of plague breath, and great swords at the front with a mounted captain and a mounted general. I don't usually mount my generals up, but as I say, this was a force put together by the AI. So I did pause the game to discuss with my teammate what we were going to do here, and it was decided he was going to grab all of the range units and set them up along this ridge, while I was going to take everything and just throw myself at this force. We just wanted to kill this force as quickly as we could before there was any chance of it being reinforced. So I'll start to play. I might put it on slow motion. So the enemy seems to charge down at us, which they will have a slope advantage in some cases, but not actually in most of it. So this is a plague priest and a warlock master. So we just go charging on in. The mounted, that is quite a benefit actually. I'm able to sort of slam straight into those clan rats with him. The knights start coming around here, and I just want to flank here, and I'm definitely a bit too bold with the knights throughout the opening stages of this fight. These spells, I just knew nothing about what they were doing to me, and well, I knew very well what they were doing to me. He spawned units just everywhere throughout the fight, but my men of better quality were generally able to deal with most of them without too much trouble, especially once the ranged elements of our force sets up. Even though I am quite so I charge spearmen here, but I think it works out, well, halberdiers, but I think it does work out for me. But they probably hang around a bit too long there. They really should be getting out now. So you can see the gunners just pecking away at this force here, and I'm just trying to cycle charge in and out, deal with these backline units. I didn't really know what a poison wind gobleteer was, but I just wanted to stop them firing, because they seem to be just sort of like they're just like bomb throwers. Right. So my morale, buffed up by the captain and the general so close by, is holding out quite well as we're as we're pushing them back and just trying to deal as much damage as quickly as we can. The enemies are actually really quite far back, and they were marching as well, so they spawn very tired, which we had a lot more time than we really were giving ourselves, and I should have been more careful with my cavalry, because one of them is half done right there. These halberdiers are near enough finished after pushing. The great swords are definitely struggling. But even already, just after 2 minutes, we've almost taken this hilltop, and we've started to control the battle a bit. You can see the kills there. We've killed over 1,000 of them already. They were just sitting being perfect targets for the Gobletiers, but there was a lot going on in a very short period of time, and I just had to wipe them out. Again, my knights just taking various losses. I like to use much higher quality of cavalry. Not that the Imperial Knights are bad units by any stretch of the imagination, but I tend when I use cavalry, I tend to get very, very elite, very powerful units. Just not very many of them. So my spearmen here, this is something I'm just very bad at. I need to try to avoid doing. I chase ranged units away, and I am punished for it a bit here. Oh wait, no, I'm chasing these clan rats. I think maybe they're just not in guard mode. So I had my general in there right now fighting. He is being punished by these. They're just clan rats, but there are some spearmen there too. That's another one of these. Wow. Yeah, those lightning bolts have done tremendous damage to me. But they've all sort of started to rout now, apart from these Gobletiers, which, yeah, as you can see, I overextended them, and I'm being punished for it by slingers and Gobletiers. So many people have just died without really gaining anything, whereas had I just kept them there to sort of stare them down and keep their shields up, maybe that would have been better for me.
Shameful display!
I love shameful display being just inserted wherever it can. Crossbows. Yeah, so they keep coming back, but as I say, it's all they've got left here are Gobletiers, the Warlock, and some ranged units. So I'm letting my knights battle with them in melee in there. I know they're short cavalry, but I was hoping to do okay with this. My worry with this was if I pulled them out, they would just throw something at me. So I felt better being in melee with them, but yeah. So it's generally pretty similar here. We just finished them off, so I'll bump up the speed for a little minute. Unfortunately, as I say, because of how much I use my cavalry, I lose them. I don't have any cavalry remaining here. See, this is where I'm talking about chasing units away when I really shouldn't do. I do it far too much, and it's something I will try to stop. These slingers are still around. That's tremendous range for a slinger, but the Free Company Militia gained so much experience from this fight. Just firing upon that unit there. Spears are probably not the best choice for fighting that Warlock, but with my general put in there, my captain too, we're able to deal with this. I was wanting to keep my men in what was left of my men in decent conditions, so that's why most things were holding back from this fight. As you can see from the ammunition that's left, it's those gunners. Perhaps not so much, but most of these units still have half of their ranged potential left. And here was where we kind of... this is a big issue that I have with Warhammer Total War. We were ambushed in this fight. This was not a fight I wanted to have. And I've killed some enemy heroes, I've killed a lot of enemy units, and I've taken the high ground. Now this is the point where I would want to just go to a board edge and flee. But unfortunately, you can't do that. in Warhammer Total War. It's you have to fight until your units rout, and I just think it's silly. The whole point of being ambushed is trying to fight your way out of that ambush, and once you have done that, that's in a way you win it. So but we just prepare ourselves to do as much damage as possible to this approaching group. Now we set up quite slowly because, as I say, they're moving fast, but we want to try and build up as much energy as we can, considering the enemy is going to be arriving very tired. We wanted to gain every advantage we could. These swordsmen, who had been routing over this way, have come back, so I am running them because I just need to make sure that they outpace this group here. The Free Company? Yes, they're Free Company. They're just making sure that we don't get attacked from behind. They do not actually, do they? They don't seem to have any ammunition left. Perhaps they've only got a shot or two. I can't see how much ammo they have. So those slingers will get chased away by. No, yeah, they're out of ammunition. They're just having to pursue them. What happens with this situation then? He manages to get around behind them and stops them from running. So the Free Company militia are certainly not bad in melee, and they're able to take on these slingers anyway. So I decide that this is a pretty steep slope, and this was definitely where we wanted to have the fight, so I got what was left of my melee forces up front. But our ranged components are really not hurt too badly, so we felt quite confident that we could do some damage here. I'll go back to normal speed. So as for their units, it was a lot of very poor quality units. They were already damaged by the morale of having their lord killed, so we felt okay. Warp throwers. Yes, these flamethrower units were pretty intimidating. They've reached the range of our crossbows, and we just hammer into these unshielded slaves. So at this point I knew we were probably not going to win, and but with having two other armies very close by, I just knew if we can do some serious damage, I'll win the next fight against them. So we weren't really focused on killing the heroes at this point because we just didn't have the ability to do that. So it was really just scoring as many kills as we can against these generally unshielded units. Unfortunately, these spearmen push up in front of the halberdiers to take the fire for them. But so the battle strategy at this point was really just do everything we can to hold them back and allow for more ranged fire to come into them. That was unfortunate, so I decided to just charge my spears. He does that again, actually, I think. But with swordsmen here, spearmen there, and what's left of my greatswords coming in there with a general to back them up, I believed, yeah, we can hold there for at least a little while. Something we didn't spot though until it started to fight us though with these assassins. I was only looking at the enemy wizards, and I thought that, yep, the wizard is definitely a threat, but my heroes can match him. And I didn't spot these two assassins that they had that just went straight for my captain and my general. So that assassin there is just pushing straight up through. I just need to hold him back so that my crossbows can keep firing. But as is his job, I realised very quickly that he was doing massive damage to my general, and I decided to get him out. And as experienced and fresh as my men are, they are just terribly outnumbered by these Skaven forces. So it's not they're not far from breaking at that point. Ah, good. We did manage to deal some significant damage to that assassin and chase him away, but these Free Company militia are running on back now after dealing with the slingers, but they're quite far away, and they need to climb. They're already tired. They need to climb up the hill before they even get here. So The handgunners, out of ammunition, just throwing themselves forward. The assassin comes back, but I've got nothing to answer him. My general is already fleeing the field. Wow, so that was the warp throwers, yeah, so that's just very frightening, very painful. And everybody's just trying to pull back at this point, and I don't think I've actually got anything that I was personally controlling still on the field. These great swords and these swordsmen, but no, it was generally just down to my friend with the ranged units to land another volley or two. But you can see we have managed to do considerable damage here, and that warp flame must be hitting some of his own guys, if not many. Ah, I see. He decided to target them, and they are collapsing under that fire. That's great to see, but yeah, yeah, not many of them are actually getting out of that, so that's good to see. Yes, but for as hard as we tried, we were not able to withstand the tide, and the mass rout occurred. But my captain somehow managed to make it out of that alive, as did my general, as did quite a few of the other guys. So I do wish that I could have just called a retreat as soon as we took that hilltop. That was our job done, I thought. My knights definitely weren't used as well as they could have been, but had I not used my knights so much, I would have had a lot less infantry. So I don't know. It was a difficult decision to make. These handgunners definitely racked up a lot of kills. The Free Company did quite well. A few of those kills would have been in melee. And can I see what about the other ones did? How many did those? They had a warp lightning cannon that didn't make it. It was generally the Death Runners that were able to get the kills, really. Everything else was the spears and the slaves, clan rats, slaves. Yeah, they just absorbed fire. They weren't actually being used in melee too much. But no, so that was a fun fight. But it's definitely frustrating that you can't rout. But no, thank you very much.